Hello everybody. In this video, I will be showing you the lab I have done. It is with Active Directory Domain Services, Active Directory User Administration, DHCP Services, and DNS Services. In preparation for this lab, I have created 3 virtual machines. The one I have open here is Server 1. This one is Server 2. And this one is Workstation. Each of these virtual machines have their own static IP addresses. Here on Server 1, I have set 2 Ethernet adapters. This one is the NAT network, and this one is for VMnet2. All the other virtual machines only have VMnet2, which they can use to connect to this host. The first task I will show is Active Directory Domain Services. Here on Server 1, I have installed the ADDS role, and then I made my domain name luong.local. Now how I check to see if the server can connect to the domain, I go into command prompt and then do ns lookup luong.local. Now, even though DNS request timed out, it can still connect to the domain because I created on the server. I have also connected server 2 and the workstation virtual machines to this domain name as well. Now that I am in the server 2 virtual machine, when I go into the network adapter, right-click on the network adapter, and then Properties, Internet Protocol version 4, and then I go into Properties from there. You see that I had changed the DNS in the IP configuration to the IP address for VMnet2 from server 1. That is because the server 2 virtual machine has to communicate with the server 1 in order to connect to the domain name. I will OK out of this, close, and then X out network connections. Now that I go into the command prompt and then do ns lookup for luong.local, it is now able to connect to the domain name from server 1. X out command prompt. Next, when I click on the computer name and then change, I am now a member of the luong.local domain, as opposed to the workgroup. The same change is also applied to the workstation virtual machine. I will cancel this. Second task is on user management in Active Directory. When I go into Active Directory users and computers, I have created 2 organizational units, IT, which contains the IT staff security group I have created, and an administrative user account for me. Also the staff organizational unit, which has the standard user for me. Now the difference between the administrative user and the standard user is the administrative user has admin rights to sign into the server. Standard user does not. So therefore, you are able to sign in using the administrative user's username account, and you can sign in successfully. But if you sign in using the standard user account, you will get an error message saying the sign-in method is not allowed. Third task is on DHCP services. Here on server 1, I have installed the DHCP services role. When I go into DHCP, I have created 2 scopes, one for the .2 and one for the .3 CIDR 24 subnets. When I go into the address pool, .1 to .203 addresses are allocated equaling 80% of all the available IP address in the subnet. But .1 to .2 are excluded. In the scope options, the router option is the default gateway as .1 in the scope subnet, and the DNS server address is 172.16.2.10. This DHC server is pointing to the VMnet2 network. So when I go into the workstation virtual machine, when I go to command prompt and I do ipconfig/all, you see that I got its IP addresses automatically because the network adapter setting is set to get IPv4 automatically by DHCP. So in order to get DHCP, the IP configuration has to be set to get the IP address automatically by DHCP. Fourth task, this one is on DNS services. When I go into DNS Manager, I have created 2 reverse lookup zones, one each for the network in the lab. The 158.168.192 is for the NAT network, and the 2.16.172 is for the VNet2. I have also created 2 DNS records. This one is for mail exchange at priority 10, and this one is for aliases www query, both pointing to server 2. Therefore, if I were to do NSLOOKUP for both of these reverse lookup zones, as well as these 2 DNS records, you can both connect with this DNS server. So that's the entire lab. Thank you all for watching, and I'll catch you all next time.